iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
We start in 1965 with the newly elected Lyndon B. Johnson, and after the passing of the Civil Rights Bill, it's now all working for Martin Luther King Jr. to get the Voting Rights Bill passed with LBJ's help, and the story starts there, and then we push through to the consummation of that, and then the Vietnam War.
Well, it's an examination of a very crucial part of American history, and an examination of a history that a lot of people perhaps don't realize what was going on. I mean, they know about the marches, they know about Martin Luther King, they know about Bobby Kennedy, they know a lot about Lyndon Johnson. But you know, the thing about Johnson is he is plagued by this the Vietnam War. And, you know, hey LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? And his disaffection with the young of America and the generation of like my generation who grew up, really not exactly pro Johnson. But the interesting thing about Robert's play is it's an examination of the pressures of what he was under. And in order to achieve what he achieved, which was the Great Society, or the beginnings of the Great Society, because it's still in play, it's still happening, we're still trying to realize those things.
It's kind of a provocative expression of political power. What that means, what the cost of acquiring it is, how should it be exercised, and how one loses it.
It's a play about a relatively recent period in American history in which a lot of things that seemed impossible to get done got done. Because of the political will of people who wanted to do the right thing, and because the ability of people to work together and battle each other in order to get the right thing done. It's a great, it's a history play, but I remember it well. And I say history play in the best sense, the most exciting sense, because we need to know about our social, history as citizens, and we need to understand that, there have been dark times before, and times when we thought things could not possibly be achieved that we now take for granted. And so this play, I think, should offer a sense of optimism that we can get through. We've gotten through a lot before, and we can get through it again.
I'm Bryce Pinkham, and I play Bobby Kennedy. And Bobby Kennedy is, a member of the Kennedy family, obviously a newly elected senator from New York, and intent on doing something about civil rights. And he and LBJ clash on ways to do that, but both agree that something has to be done, and we watch that play out in the drama of the play.
Mark Kudish, and I play Mayor Richard Daley of Chicago, who was, perhaps even still to this day, one of the most, if not the most powerful mayor of any city of any is in this country. He was mayor of Chicago from 1955 to 1976. He ran the Democratic Party in the Mideast, and he was one of the most powerful Democratic players and a close confidant of LBJ. And was involved, of course, in the Chicago riots, which was sort of the turning point of his sort of leadership in Chicago at that time.
My excitement level, if it was on a scale of 10, I'm at about 25 right now, and it's all nerves, but I think the piece is so strong that hopefully I can rise to the occasion of doing Martin Luther King Jr. justice.
I'm of that generation that, I was a kid when he was, president. So I remember him quite well, and we did have this view of him, which was not a particularly good view. And what the play does is it resets the balance. It shows the difficulties and it shows what he was up against, but it's very truthful, and it's also very emotional. It shows the emotional commitment of Johnson to these ideas, and how necessary it was to create the potential of the Great Society, which is still in the making. We ain't got there yet. Hopefully we'll get there.
The morning after All the Way won the Tony Award, Bill Rauch, the director, and I were on a plane flying back to Ashland, Oregon to begin work on the Great Society. And we had so much success with All the Way, and we really wanted to get this right. We have taken our time. We have been painstaking in terms of the script and the company, and ultimately, of course, finding the perfect actor for LBJ. And we are so fortunate, and New York audiences are so fortunate to have Brian Cox in that role. Brian Cox is nothing less than astonishing. This will be a performance people will talk about for years.
I mean, I've worked with a lot of these people before, and it's fantastic that Jeffrey Richards has pulled this great company together. I think actors want to be a part of this. They want to be a part of it, A, because it's a wonderful play. Both of these plays are terrific, all the way in great society. You want to be a part of it because I think they feel that it's a play which is about something that is... we always say as actors, oh, this play is very timely, this play is very relevant, it's being, everybody says that, but this is a political play, which is a great reflection of what we're going through right now in many ways, and how we can work through what we're going through. And I think I think the actors in the play are here out of a sense of civic duty as well as a desire to make great theater. And Brian is going to be great. He's a terrific leader, and I can't wait to be on stage with everybody.
We're at a time now where America really has to look to its history in a way that it hasn't quite done up until now. This is just one element of it, but it's a key element. It's a key element towards a sense of some kind of social democracy, really.
If you look at the individuals on our cast list, at least for me, you could walk into your first rehearsal quite intimidated, but it was only a few hours that I realized everyone was here for a greater purpose, and everyone's really taken to the ensemble nature of the show. We all play cops and we play reporters, and everyone, with the exception of the notable exception of Brian Cox, is really helping tell the story in an ensemble way. And I think that speaks to not only the caliber of the cast, but also the character of the cast that Bill Rauch has assembled, and it's been great. One of the things that working on a piece like this does is it brings up some difficult conversations, and we have a racially diverse cast, and we have already in our rehearsals had to have difficult conversations about these issues, and I've been really proud to be in the room and really commend our group for taking those issues head on in our room. Because if we can't talk about them, then how do we expect our audiences to walk away from our show and talk about them? So it's a really honorable group to be a part of, and I think that will come through on the day of the show.
I hope audience members will see in this play how the struggle for who we are as a country and who we need to become as a country is as alive and as urgent today as it was 50 years ago. And if people can reflect on who we are and each of our roles in shaping who we are as a nation in watching this play, I will feel like we've done a good job.
Oh my gosh. We have put together such an extraordinary ensemble. I think there are 5 or 6 Tony Award nominee or winners aside from Brian Cox. And so super talented, widely regarded in the industry. And I have to just say, the level of personal commitment by each and every actor to this production is quite astonishing, and I'm used to a very high level, but I think there is not a person here who doesn't feel this deeply in themselves, in their personal lives and in their art, and they are bringing that to this production. It is going to be a very unique event this season. Don't miss it.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.